Hi, welcome to my channel, Astro Journey UK. So this afternoon at lunchtime I just happened to be looking at the weather and noticed it's going to be clear outside tonight. So as I'll kind of show you, the weather at the moment is pretty grim. It's quite windy and very cloudy, and it's been raining most of the day. But things look like they're going to be clearing up later. So yep, I thought it'd be a good idea to get the telescope out and the camera and just kind of record my my session for the evening. My plan for this evening is to image the Heart Nebula. My scope, not this one here. I've just kind of put that there for some kind of authenticity of being an astrophotographer. My plan is to image the Heart Nebula, but I'll be using my EvoStar 80ED, which is a 600mm focal length refractor telescope, and with that coupled with the camera that I have, a ZWO ASI1600MM Pro, the sort of field of view for that particular setup means that I can't get the whole of the Heart Nebula in, so I'm kind of zooming into one particular part of it. But I think that bit looks quite good, so yeah, so that's my plan for this evening. But also what I'm going to do is sort of take you along the journey and sort of maybe explain a few things about what I'm doing. I've done a couple of videos now where I kind of touch on certain things, but actually I plan on sort of maybe taking a deeper dive into certain aspects of it so that you can understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing those different things. I've only been doing this, certainly with this setup and this equipment, since about sort of December last year, so December 2020, and I've learned an awful lot in that time. And the purposes of setting up this channel, and really the blog that I have as well, is really to sort of share that journey, but also help sort of provide that better understanding or things that I've learned along the way, things that weren't very good to do and things that have worked really well. So the plan is to try and sort of cover some of that stuff in this video. The video would end up being massive if I covered everything, so I'll just kind of cover a few bits and pieces each session, basically. So. Good evening. So yeah, my plan this evening was to image the Heart Nebula and take you along with that journey and just record the plate solving and explain what I'm doing when I'm plate solving to actually resolve to a particular target. However, the clouds seem to have come across, and I'm just kind of waiting to see if it clears. Basically, the forecast basically says that it's going to be clear all evening from 10 o'clock till about I think it was 10 o'clock till about 3-4 in the morning. So I thought I'd have enough time to do all of the polar alignment, the plate solving, take some images, and yeah, record this video. However, yeah, skies are conspiring against me. There's also something moving in the hedge. So what we're going to do now is open up EQMOD, and what this enables me to do is connect to the telescope mount using EQMOD, but it also means that I can connect to Stellarium through that as well. What it means is also I can connect Stellarium to the mount as well. I think the park is not quite where it needs to be. Let me just sort that out. So yeah, with the mount park, so turn on tracking. So what I've got is on the mount I've marked up after using spirit level and everything to make sure that the RA and the declination are exactly in the right place. So telescope is exactly pointed towards north, and the mount is pointing straight down. So that's kind of, each time you set up, it makes it so much quicker to just line it up with those marks, and then you know you're exactly where you need to be. So yeah, EQMOD is up and running in there. We open up Stellarium. Just one point of note in EQMOD is some of the settings. So typically need the RA rate and declination rate, pulse guide settings up at maximum. There's a thing around mount limits whereby yeah, I think if it's not connected correctly, and I'm pretty sure I really need to set this up properly, so that sort of meridian flips will work and everything, but I've had to disable this because it wasn't, it would guide for a bit and then it would just stop, so I do need to look at that. So what we can do is go into Stellarium, and I can never remember exactly where this is. Oh, there we go. Configuration, plugins. Scroll down here, so telescope control is a plugin that I've installed, and that's
cooling finished.
Loading at startup. Click configure, and it's the second one that I've got set up here. So if I click connect, it's connected through EQMOD to the telescope mount, and then what we can do, I mean to do that, then what we can do is actually let's go to search, Heart Nebula, which is there. Basically have that selected. There we go. I want to go roughly there, and then press Control and 2. Basically 2 because that was the telescope configuration. So if you've only got one, then you want to use Control 1, but I've got 2, so you need to use Control 2. So what I'll do now is press Control 2, and that should slew the telescope to that location in the night sky. It's going to get me roughly where I need to be, and then what we will then do from that point onwards is then the plate solving to make sure I'm exactly where I need to be. Tab out, go to APT, connect the scope. If it's not already set up, then yeah, you'll see this. I just need to select EQMOD HEQ56. Click
Telescope
OK,
connected.
and now we're all connected. The whole purpose of this session really, which was to show plate solving. So the scope's connected, camera's connected, doing some 2-second exposures. I'm just going to increase this a bit. Get some more stars in here. Let's change the gain 300. So yeah, we've got a lot more stars in here, and that's what we need for plate solving. So we've got the go onto gear, and the gear tab is where the mount's controlled from. If you've got a focuser, then that would be in here as well. I've got a filter wheel because I'm using a mono camera. And what we're going to do now, so we've got tracking turned on, so you can maybe hear the mount whirring away in the background. What we want to do is first double check the camera and the focal length. So if you go onto tools, you've got the focal length of the camera there. Pixel size is 3.8 and the CCD width and height is 17.7 by 13.4. So you'll need to look up these values for your particular camera to make sure that these are exact, because you need to have these right in order for plate solving to work. Focal length is obviously pretty critical, but actually then the size of your sensor impacts the field of view of the image that you're taking. So if that doesn't match up, then you're going to struggle with plate solving, and believe me, I've been there before. So what we can do is go into PointCraft, and this has already been set up. But if we go into settings, you can see all of the different plate solving tools that are available to you, and APT will provide you with a download link. Basically download the software, install it into an appropriate location. This is a Windows machine, so I put things into program files. Some people put it into the same folder as where your images are going, but I think you should really put this where it's meant to go. And also you'll find that when you download the software, you've got to also download the libraries of the images for your particular focal length and camera, so that it's got the right data to plate solve against. I think that's so that if you're out and about, then you can still plate solve. You don't need an internet connection. So you've got a timeout, set that to 180 seconds. You can kind of be flexible. Pretty much, if it's working properly, it tends to solve in less than 60 seconds. Yeah, go to ++ attempts, so that's the number of plate solving slewing attempts. And also there's a default PointCraft exposure, so 10 seconds. So I've got that set to 10, fundamentally so that it should be able to get a good amount of stars in there. So that's that. So click OK, and we'll basically say, right, okay, we know we're roughly in the right place, so we're going to say we're looking for Heart Nebula. I need to hit live view to take an image of that area so that it's got something to plate solve against. There we go. And then we will hit solve. That will open up.
Image solved.
Oh, there we go. Image solved, success. Everything's okay there. Synchronize the mount to that location. You can see the coordinates are slightly different. And go back into objects again. Heart Nebula. And this thing here, so you've got within the plate solver a catalogue of a lot of targets, but not all of them. I'm not sure if the Heart Nebula is actually in this list. Yeah, I don't think that's it. No. Heart and Dagger. No, don't want to go to that. So what I've had to do is, so you've got deep sky targets, a lot of the Messier targets, the common ones, and then you've got some of them by name. You've got a lot of stars in here as well. But if you've got custom targets or custom framings, you can basically come in here and you can basically set them, so you can sort of click on add new, fill out these details. If you're already there, you can get the scope, RA and declination, install that in here, Basically what I've already done that. What we're going to do, so I'm going to go back into that, go into custom tab, select the target again, double click on that and do go to ++. So this is now going to plate solve that particular target using the images that it takes, plate solves those images, and then
exposure started,
and continues for up to 5 times before it either gives up or it should get there.
exposure finished. Go to ++ finished.
There you go, you can see the so that is pretty much plate solving. That's when it works, it's really easy. It does kind of occasionally go a bit haywire, but I think that's really around the configuration of the mount, and if it's not exactly you haven't got the exact park position right and things like that. So that's one thing to watch out for. So the time's about 1 o'clock now. I think I'm going to call it a night. I've had a pretty good evening overall. Managed to get some 300-second subs out of the evening, mainly in sort of the oxygen 3 narrowband filters and a bit of hydrogen alpha as well. So yeah, hopefully I should have a good image at the end of this to share with you. So if you found anything interesting in this video or you enjoyed it, then please hit that like button. And if you want to see any further videos, then please hit the subscribe button as well. Also, I'd just like to say thank you very much for everybody who has subscribed so far. I really appreciate it, and I hope you've enjoyed the content that I've been producing. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.